Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the business edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we dive on in, if you are in need of a website to host your business website, hosting for your business website, I can't even talk right anymore. Head on over to A2 Hosting. This is where I'm actually hosting all my stuff. I actually use the VPS to host about 30 different clients. And they just have so many different options, so many different good prices. And the more you buy up front, then the cheaper it becomes down the road. So you buy 6 months at a time or a year at a time, it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So tlm.li/A2H. Let's dive on into the news, shall we? All right. Oh boy, we're getting to this. Things aren't loading. All right. If I had an evil tech section, this was going to be the part. I just didn't have enough evil tech to include an evil tech section. And so what we're seeing here is there is this new robot called Moxie. How is this? Like, maybe this should have been in the dystopian, but the dystopian section is really reserved for consequences of the thing. And so Moxie is a robot that teaches kids how to relate to humans. Why, Alexa? Why? And so you get a robot that helps your kids learn to socialize. I'm sorry, no. Somebody has their brain up the wrong hole or something. I don't know. So the idea here is this thing that teaches. It's for kids between like 6 and 9, and it's supposed to be this thing where you sit there, I guess, and stare into its eyes and says, "You will listen to me. You will listen to me. Come, silence. Sell your soul to me." Never mind. So the kid talks to the robot. It's supposed to be educational. It's going to teach him all these little life skills, these amazing things. When are we going to realize that robots cannot take the place of humans? By the way, that's an interesting little point subplot I mentioned in a book I have coming out recently. But anyway, that being said, the computer itself, which looks free, does this thing look like? I don't know. It definitely has a Thomas the Train Engine component with that face. Maybe it also looks like one of those, the little guys in Star Wars, like the little scavenger guys on Star Wars, one of those, I don't know. But it costs like $1,500, and then it has a $60 per month subscription fee, and then you're supposed to play with it. Let's see, Moxie was built with parenting trend of limiting screen time. Oh, limit your screen time, Johnny, go play with your robot instead. So Embodied found that children spend an average of 30 to 45 minutes a day with the robot, so they programmed it to get tired after 45 minutes of use and go to sleep. That way the children won't get too sucked into their internet. Oh, so the robot goes to sleep after 45 minutes. We are becoming a society of fools. This is insane. People, don't subject your children to this thing. All right. Next story, we have the U.S. military is furious with FCC over the 5G plan. Like, guys, maybe 5G is something we stop, table for 2 years, and get some real data on. Okay? We got the conspiracy theorists saying that COVID's really 5G. We get the meteorologists are saying 5G is going to interfere drastically with our weather reports. We're going to reduce the response to hurricanes by up to a day. The military saying 5G is going to mess with our satellite information. And everyone's like, you gotta move forward with 5G, full speed ahead, 5G. Oh my lands, people, we need to stop. I'm calling us to stop with all this 5G nonsense, and let's stop and do a little bit more research on it. Figure out what's going to make the military happy, what's going to make the meteorologists happy, what's going to make the pyromaniacs in UK happy, and figure out what in the world we can do and stop pushing it forward, throwing everything else to the side, saying it's all this conspiracy. Maybe we just need to stop and slow down. But if there's any good thing that come out of this, I would love to see a war between the military and the FCC. Bring it! I'll pay money to see this. I mean, come on. But yeah, military is basically telling the FCC that their 5G plan is going to completely interfere with GPS technology. You know, it's fairly important. Not only that, but man, 5G might prevent us from doing city geocaching for anybody who's into geocaching these days. So definitely interesting there. All right, from The Verge, Microsoft now blocks reply all email storms to end our inbox nightmares. This is good news. Microsoft is doing something good. They'll probably kill the program in a year or so, but this is mostly targeted towards business enterprise systems using the Office 365 Exchange Online system for business organizations. The idea is that if a reply all is going to have hundreds or thousands of recipients, it's just going to block those, because what happens is some people don't know how to use email right, and then they're going to send out an email. Like, I had a picture, I'm not sure if I have it anymore, but I was on the Chamber of Commerce in the city when I lived out west, and their idea of sending an email out to everybody to alert them was literally to take an email form and literally BCC every single member in there. So I had a list that was this big of emails for every business person in the city in a plain text email. And if anybody got that email and says, I'm coming, every business person gets a copy. This is a good thing, honestly. So we see this, conversation is too busy with too many people. Basically, most of these cases don't need a reply all. Like right now I'm doing some things back and forth with 4 different people to get a website going. And so we're replying alling a lot, but we only have like 4 people on the team, so that's actually okay. So with that, Microsoft actually doing some decent stuff. Very nice of them. Very interesting indeed. Ford is promising quick over-the-air updates to brick all of its Ford Mustang Mach-E's. Great, that's all we need. Our cars to do automatic updates, i.e. a car on the internet is susceptible to hackers. I don't want my car on the internet. There's no reason my car needs to be on the internet. People, can we go out and let's all stop buying cars that are connected to the internet and tell the dealer, I don't want a car that's connected to the internet. Stop falling in love with, oh, it's so cool. Oh, it's a neat feature. Oh, it's so normie. Stop. Tell them I don't want a car that's connected to the internet because there's too many problems with it. There's too many problems with it. Okay? We don't need a car that's automatically updating and getting over-the-air updates. This is insane. This is insane. Stop. I wonder what comments are people. I wonder if people are really... OTA for what? Doesn't have enough sensors to be useful. Let's see. Unfortunately, the audio industry is slow at making its way to vehicles, so will require updates. Like, whatever happened to, like, getting something that's good, keeping it off the internet so it doesn't need an update? I mean, what needs updated on a car? Especially if it's not on the... security updates. Keep the hackers out. I got an idea for that. Kill the connection to the internet. You don't need to worry about it. All right, Google is sending yet another service to the graveyard very soon. That is Google Play Music. Google Play Music is dying and becoming YouTube Music instead. And so you can actually take your Google Play libraries and port them over to Google as of this week. And at the end of the year, Google Play Music will cease to exist. So yes, don't get too attached to any Google product. They tend to... and this is the latest to hit the chopping block and enter the graveyard of googly gadgets. So if you are using Google Play Music, prepare for the bitter end. Whoa, what? I accidentally closed our next article. What was that article there? Let's see, recently closed tabs. There it is. All right. From TechCrunch, something about, oh, that's right. Uber, if this thing ever loads. There you go. Uber is reportedly in talks to buy GrubHub. That's all we need. We have like 3 top delivery food services, and now we're going to kind of like buy up, consolidate them down, come closer to the monopoly. Merging the 2 top ones together. And so, of course, I love the article. I don't think this was the article, but one of the other articles, it's like, yeah, Uber is repeatedly known for abusing customers. GrubHub is repeatedly known for abusing the business owners. Hey, let's just produce one giant thing that's the Gestapo of beatdown for everybody. Like, nobody in the world. Boom, 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 boom. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so So Uber and GrubHub are in talks. There are already several cities that are kind of suing to prevent this from happening because it's a huge problem. But of course, these are two huge services that are really taking off. If you're really wanting to look for something to invest in, man, invest in something like this if you want to invest in a slimy company. I think Uber is wrapped up in one of my portfolios just because it's an aggressive tech portfolio, but unfortunately, or was that Tesla? I forget. One of them did something stupid, but then it came back up. But anyway, that's that. All right. On to our next. This is a ZNet. This might take a minute to load. All right. So our feature article, Linux and not Windows, why Munich is shifting back from Microsoft to open source again. So in reading through this, what we're seeing here is kind of a power play between a few different warring parties, and the party that has just won some of the leading positions is definitely more interested in the open source. And their point is correct that the reason we're doing this is because of the costs. It costs so much less. It's like, but we need to retrain people. So what? You retrain a couple people on software that's mostly similar to what you're already using anyway. And then you dump the licensing fee, and now you have a very good free and open source system you can use, and then you can use a fraction of the government budget that you were spending on just software fees, support the developers instead. I did like what they were doing. They actually developed a platform called Linux for Linux and Munich, and so right now, they're shifting back, and if you remember back in 2017, they were doing the plan to be shifted completely back to Microsoft by 2020. It's now 2020, and now they're shifting back to open source platforms instead. So eventually, they need to come up with some decisions to stick with it. But ultimately, they're not dumping everything and immediately all on Linux. It's just that prior to this point, they were slowly shifting stuff as it died to Microsoft. Now, as it dies, they're slowly shifting stuff back to Linux and other open source options instead. And so with that, we get another great push as Munich switches to Linux. All right, so if you like the story or any other stories, subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Go ahead and hit the comments there down below, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.